Part 1. The Ultimatum. The council chamber was burning with anger. 12 alien species sat in their seats, all looking at the small human who stood alone in the center. The room was huge, made of crystal that glowed with purple light. But today the light felt cold. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood perfectly still. Her blue uniform was simple compared to the golden armor and flowing robes of the alien council members. She did not move. She did not speak. She only waited. "This is your final warning, human." The voice came from High Chancellor Zekthor, a massive creature with 6 arms and scales that shimmered like oil. His species, the Krathen, had ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years. "Your planet will surrender all weapons. You have 48 hours. If you refuse, we will destroy Earth." The other council members made sounds of agreement. The Vilnari clicked their mandibles. The Sorith hissed through their breathing tubes. The floating aerons pulsed with red light. Sarah looked up at them. Her face showed nothing. No fear, no anger. Just calm. "You want humanity to give up all our weapons?" she asked. Her voice was soft but clear. "Yes." Zekthor slammed one of his massive fists on the table. "Your species is new here. You have been in space for only 200 years. You are children playing with dangerous toys. We have seen what weapons do. We have rules. You will follow them, or you will be removed." Council member Thessa, a tall insect-like being with compound eyes, leaned forward. "We are being generous, human. Other species that refused our peace, they no longer exist. We are giving you a choice." Sarah nodded slowly. "I see. And what happens after we give you our weapons?" "Then you will be safe," Zekthor said. "We will protect you. You will trade with us. You will follow galactic law." "It is simple." "Simple," Sarah repeated. She looked around at all 12 council members. "May I show you something?" Zekthor waved a hand. "Speak quickly." "Our patience is thin." Sarah touched a device on her wrist. A hologram appeared in the air above her head. It showed Earth blue and green and beautiful, floating in black space. "This is my home," she said. 4 billion years old. One species, humanity. The hologram changed. Now it showed images moving fast. Cities, people, children playing. Families eating together. Students in schools. Farmers in fields. "We are not warriors," Sarah said. "We do not want war. We came to the stars looking for friends." Some of the council members looked bored. One of them yawned. The hologram changed again. Now it showed something different. Armies. Battles, explosions. The images moved faster and faster. "But we know war," Sarah said. Her voice was still soft, but something in it changed. "We know it very well." The council chamber became quiet. The aliens watched the hologram. It showed thousands of years of human history. Swords, guns, tanks, missiles, nuclear explosions that turned cities into dust. "For 10,000 years we fought ourselves," Sarah continued. "We fought over land, over food, over ideas, over nothing at all. We built weapons that could destroy our entire world. And we almost used them. Many times. The hologram showed more. Ships sinking, planes falling, cities burning. Then it showed something else. Survivors, rebuilding, people helping each other from the ruins. And every time we destroyed ourselves," Sarah said, "we got back up. We learned. We survived. That is what humans do. We survive," Zekthor laughed. It was a deep rumbling sound. "You think your primitive wars impress us? We have destroyed entire star systems. Your species is nothing." Sarah looked directly at him. Her eyes were dark and steady. "High Chancellor," she said quietly, "you have never fought a species that has spent 10,000 years fighting itself. You have never fought a species that sees war as just another problem to solve. You have never fought a species that refuses to give up no matter what." The chamber became very still. "So I have a question for you," Sarah said. "Are you absolutely sure you want to find out what humans do when you threaten our children? When you threaten our home? When you give us no choice?" Zekthor stood up. All 6 of his arms spread wide. "Is that a threat, human?" Sarah smiled. It was not a happy smile. "No, High Chancellor," she said. "It is a warning. You have 48 hours to withdraw your ultimatum." Then she turned and walked toward the exit. Her footsteps echoed in the silent chamber. Behind her, Zekthor's voice was filled with rage. "Seize her! Prepare the fleet! Earth will burn!" Sarah stopped at the doorway. She looked back over her shoulder. "Then the war begins now," she said. The doors closed behind her with a sound like thunder. In the council chamber, no one spoke. They had just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. They had threatened humanity's home. Part 2: The Warning. The council chamber erupted with noise. 12 voices shouted at once. Some demanded action. Others urged caution. But High Chancellor Zekthor's voice rose above them all. "Silence," he roared. His 6 arms slammed against his control panel. The crystal walls glowed brighter, forcing everyone to pay attention. The human dared to threaten us. This insult cannot stand. Council member Thessa's compound eyes flickered with concern. "Chancellor, perhaps we should reconsider." The human seemed very confident. "Too confident." "Confident?" Zekthor laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the chamber. "She is bluffing. Humans are children. They have no great weapons, no powerful fleet. Our intelligence reports confirm this. Then why did she smile?" asked Vorin, a wise old being made of living crystal. His species had existed for 50,000 years. "In all my life I have seen that look before. It is the look of someone who knows something we do not." Zekthor waved a dismissive hand. "Fear makes you see shadows, old one. I will not be frightened by one small human." But Vorin was not finished. "Chancellor, I urge you to review Earth's history carefully. There is something about these humans that troubles me." "Fine," Zekthor growled. "Show us what frightens you so much about these primitives." Vorin activated the main display. The massive hologram in the center of the chamber flickered to life. It showed Earth's timeline, starting from ancient history. "Look at this species," Vorin said softly. "In their recorded history, they have had over 15,000 wars. Large ones, small ones, wars that lasted days, wars that lasted decades." The hologram showed armies clashing with swords and shields, then guns, then machines of war that grew larger and more terrible. "Every species fights," Zekthor said. "What makes them special?" "Because they fought themselves," Varan answered. "Most species fight others when they reach the stars. Humans fought each other for thousands of years before leaving their planet. They perfected the art of war against their own kind." The hologram showed something that made several council members gasp. It was a mushroom cloud rising above a city, then another, and another. They created weapons that could destroy their entire world. Vorin continued. "And they used them, not once but twice, on themselves." The chamber grew quiet. Even Zekthor seemed less certain now. "But they survived," Vorin said. "They looked at the ashes of their cities and decided never to use those weapons again." "Do you understand what that means?" "They have the discipline to create ultimate destruction and the will to not use it. That is not weakness. That is terrifying control." Thessa's voice was worried now. "How many of these weapons do they have?" Vorin's crystal body dimmed. "According to our intelligence, they dismantled most of them decades ago. But intelligence also said they were primitive. Intelligence said they were weak." He paused. "What if intelligence is wrong about everything else?" "Impossible," Zekthor said, but his voice lacked its earlier confidence. "We have been watching Earth for 50 years. We know everything about them, do we?" Vorin asked. The ambassador said something important. She said we have never fought a species that spent 10,000 years fighting itself. Think about that. Every battle tactic, every strategy, every way to kill and survive. They learned it all by fighting each other. What happens when they turn that knowledge toward fighting us? A new voice spoke. It came from Counselor Marith, a peaceful species that traded with everyone. "I have visited Earth," she said quietly. "I have walked among humans. They are kind. They laugh. They love their children. But I saw something else too." "What?" Zekthor demanded. "They have memorials everywhere. Statues and walls covered with names. Millions of names. Each one is a human who died in their wars. And do you know what is written on these memorials?" No one answered. "Never again," Marith said. "Those words appear everywhere. Never again. They remember every death, every mistake, every horror. And they promise to never let it happen again." "But Chancellor, what happens when we force them to break that promise? What happens when we make them fight again?" Zekthor stood silent for a long moment. Around him, the council waited. Finally, he spoke. "Send a message to Ambassador Chen. Tell her we wish to discuss the terms again." "Chancellor?" Thessa sounded surprised. "I said discuss," Zekthor snapped. "Not surrender. We will hear what she has to say. Then we will decide." But even as he gave the order, deep in his mind, A seed of doubt had been planted. Meanwhile, aboard the human ship Defiant, Ambassador Sarah Chen sat in her quarters. Her hand was shaking slightly as she poured tea. She had bluffed well in the council chamber. But she knew the truth. Earth was not ready for war. Not yet. A communication screen lit up. A face appeared. It was Admiral Marcus Stone, commander of Earth's Defense Forces. Ambassador, he said, his voice grave. We received your signal. Protocol Omega is active. Sarah took a breath. How long do we need, Admiral? 48 hours minimum, Stone replied. 72 would be better. Every hidden ship, every secret weapon, every soldier we have scattered across the colonies. They all need time to get into position. Can we win? Sarah asked quietly. Admiral Stone was silent for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was hard as steel. If they give us time, yes. Humanity has been preparing for this day since we first left Earth. We hoped it would never come. But we prepared anyway, Sarah nodded. Then I will buy you time. How? She smiled, that same cold smile from the council chamber. I will give them a warning they cannot ignore. I will show them exactly what humanity is capable of. And I will pray they are smart enough to listen. The screen went dark. Sarah looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, the council was making their decision. Would they choose peace, or would they choose war? Either way, humanity would be ready. The clock was ticking. 47 hours and 30 minutes remaining. Part 3. The Preparation Ambassador, Sarah Chen, stood before the Galactic Council once more. This time the atmosphere was different. The angry shouting had stopped. Now there was something else in the air. Uncertainty. High Chancellor Zekthor sat in his throne, all 6 arms folded. His scales no longer shimmered with confidence. Ambassador Chen, we have reconsidered our position. We are willing to negotiate new terms. Sarah nodded politely. I appreciate that, Chancellor. Before we negotiate, I would like to show you something. With your permission. Zekthor hesitated, then waved a hand. Proceed. Sarah activated her hologram projector. The image that appeared was not Earth this time. It was a star map. Hundreds of systems glowed in the darkness. This is the galactic arm where humanity lives, she began. 27 colonies, 50 mining stations, 12 research outposts, all established in the last 100 years. We know this, Thessa said impatiently. Your expansion has been modest. Modest, Sarah repeated. She touched her control device. The map changed. Now it showed something different. Red dots appeared throughout the region. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. The council members leaned forward. What are those? Foreign asked quietly. These are things you do not know about, Sarah said. Defense stations, hidden shipyards, weapons platforms, supply depots, all built in secret over the last 50 years. Zekthor stood up. Impossible! Our surveillance would have detected them. Sarah's expression remained calm. Your surveillance detected what we wanted you to detect. Chancellor, humanity learned a valuable lesson in our history. Never show your enemy your true strength until you must. She changed the image again. This time it showed a single space station. It looked old and abandoned, drifting near an asteroid field. This is Station Jericho. Your records say it was a failed mining colony, abandoned 20 years ago due to equipment failure. Sarah smiled slightly. Would you like to see what it really is? The image zoomed in. The station's outer shell suddenly split open like a flower. Inside were rows and rows of warships, sleek, dark, ready for battle. This is one of 17 hidden military bases, Sarah continued. Each one contains between 50 and 200 combat vessels. All of them are armed with weapons your species banned centuries ago. Weapons we never agreed to ban because we were never asked. The council chamber was completely silent now. Council member Mareth spoke, her voice trembling. How many ships do you have? Enough, Sarah said simply. But numbers do not tell the whole story. Let me show you something else. The hologram changed to show a battle simulation. Human ships faced off against Krathan warships. The Krathan vessels were larger, more impressive. Your ships are superior in almost every way, Sarah admitted. Bigger, faster, better shields, better weapons. In a straight fight we would lose. Zekthor relaxed slightly. Then you admit? But humans do not fight straight fights, Sarah interrupted. We never have. The simulation began to play. The human ships scattered immediately. They did not form battle lines like the Krathan expected. Instead, they split into small groups. They used asteroids for cover. They attacked from multiple directions at once. They targeted weak points with precision strikes. In the simulation, the Krathan fleet tried to respond, but their formations were designed for honorable combat. Ship against ship, fleet against fleet. They could not adapt fast enough. One by one, the Krathan ships fell. "We call this asymmetric warfare," Sarah explained. "We perfected it over thousands of years. When facing a stronger enemy, you do not fight on their terms. You change the rules. You make them fight your way." Vorin's crystal body pulsed with deep blue light. "You would use guerrilla tactics in space warfare. No one has done this before." "Because no one else needed to," Sarah said. "Every species in the galaxy was either strong enough to fight directly or weak enough to surrender. Humanity is something different. We are strong enough to hurt you badly, but smart enough to know we might not win a direct confrontation. So we prepare for the kind of war we can win." Thessa's mandibles clicked nervously. "You said you wanted peace." "We do," Sarah said firmly. "More than anything, we want peace. But we will not have peace through surrender. We will not give up our ability to defend ourselves. That is not negotiable." Zekthor's voice was low and dangerous. "You realize what you are saying? You are telling us that if we attack Earth, you will wage a war that could last decades. A war with no honor, no rules. Just endless fighting." "Yes," Sarah said simply. "A war where every supply ship you send gets ambushed. Where your trade routes become kill zones. Where your colonies never know when an attack might come. Where you spend more resources defending what you have than you could ever gain from defeating us." She paused, letting her words sink in. "And here is the thing about humans, Chancellor. We are very, very good at wars like that. We have centuries of experience. We know how to fight when we are outnumbered, how to survive when we are outgunned, how to turn our enemy's strength into weakness." The silence in the chamber was heavy now, oppressive. Sarah took a breath and continued. "Right now, as we speak, Protocol Omega is in effect. Every human ship in every system is moving into position. Every soldier is preparing. Every weapon is being loaded. We are not doing this because we want war. We are doing this because you forced our hand. How long would we have to fight?" Marith asked quietly. Sarah looked at her. "As long as it takes. Humans do not surrender, ever. We might lose battles. We might lose planets. But we will never stop fighting. Never. Ask the Nazis. Ask the British Empire. Ask any power in our history that thought they could make humans submit through force. Ask them how it ended." Zekthor sat down slowly. All 6 of his arms hung limply at his sides. "What do you want?" he finally asked. "Recognition," Sarah said. "Treat us as equals, not as children. Not as primitives, as equals. Let us keep our weapons. Let us defend ourselves. And we will be your allies, your friends. We will share our technology, our resources, our knowledge. But it must be as partners, not as subjects." Vorin spoke up. "And if we refuse?" Sarah's eyes were hard as diamonds. "Then 47 hours from now you will find out if everything I have told you is true. And I promise you, Chancellor, you will not enjoy the lesson." She deactivated her hologram and stood perfectly still, waiting. The council members looked at each other. Some with fear, some with anger, some with grudging respect. Finally, Zekthor spoke. "We will discuss this matter privately. You are dismissed, Ambassador." Sarah bowed slightly and turned to leave. As she walked to the exit, Vorin's voice followed her. "Ambassador Chen." She stopped and looked back. "I believe you," the old being said quietly. "I believe every word." Sarah nodded once and left the chamber. Outside, she allowed herself one moment of weakness. Her hands shook. Her heart pounded. She had just played the most dangerous game of her life. Now she could only wait and see if humanity's bluff was strong enough, or if the galaxy was about to learn what humans were really capable of. The clock continued to tick. Part 4. The Revelation High Chancellor. Zekthor stood at the observation window of his command ship. Behind him, the Galactic Council's war fleet stretched across space like a river of steel. 3,000 warships, the largest military force assembled in 2 centuries. "This is madness," Council Member Vorin said. His crystal body pulsed with dark colors. "We should negotiate." "We tried negotiating," Zekthor replied coldly. "The humans refused. They think they can threaten us. They think their hidden bases and clever tactics will save them. Today, we show them the price of arrogance. Thessa stood nearby, her compound eyes reflecting the fleet's lights. Chancellor, our intelligence confirms the humans were not lying. They do have hidden military assets. More than we expected. I do not care, Zekthor said. 3,000 ships, Thessa. 3,000. Even if they have 1,000 ships hidden away, we outnumber them 3-1. Our shields are stronger. Our weapons are more powerful. This will be over in hours. Far below, the blue and green sphere of Earth hung in space. Beautiful, peaceful, undefended. Where is their fleet? Zekthor demanded. Our sensors show nothing. The tactical officer, a young Krathan named Vex, checked his instruments. Sir, we detect only minimal orbital traffic. Commercial ships. A few small patrol vessels. No military presence. Zekthor smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. They abandoned their homeworld. They are cowards after all. Or it is a trap, Vorin warned. Then let them spring it, Zekthor growled. All ships battle formation. Prepare to contact, Vex shouted. Multiple contacts. They are decloaking all around us. The fleet's sensors exploded with warnings. Red dots appeared on every screen. Not just a few, not dozens, hundreds. Ships materialized from empty space. They had been there all along, hidden by technology the Council did not know existed. Human warships, dark and angular, formed a sphere completely surrounding the Council fleet. Zekthor stared in disbelief. How many? 800? No, 900 ships, Vex said, his voice shaking. Sir, they have us surrounded. We are in the center of their formation. Impossible, Thessa whispered. They could not hide that many ships. Our sensors were fooled, Vorin finished. The humans played us. They made us think they were weak. A communication request flashed on the main screen. Zekthor hesitated, then accepted it. Admiral Marcus Stone's face appeared. He was an older human with gray hair and cold eyes. Behind him stood Ambassador Sarah Chen. Chancellor Zekthor, Stone said calmly. You are surrounded. Your weapons are targeted. Your fleet is trapped in a kill zone. I am offering you one chance to withdraw peacefully. Zekthor's anger exploded. You dare. We still outnumber you 3-1. Our ships are superior. Are they? Stone asked. He nodded to someone off-screen. The human fleet powered up their weapons. Energy readings spiked across every sensor. The Council ships detected weapon signatures they had never seen before. Railguns, plasma cannons, fusion missiles, and something else. Something that made their computers scream warnings. What is that? Thessa asked. Vex checked his readings. Sir, those signatures, they are antimatter weapons. The humans have armed their ships with antimatter warheads. The Council chamber on the command ship went silent. Antimatter weapons had been banned for 3,000 years. They were too destructive, too horrible. No civilized species used them anymore. You would not dare, Zekthor said, but his voice lacked certainty. Sarah Chen stepped forward on the screen. Chancellor, let me tell you a story. In our history, we once fought a war that killed 60 million humans. 60 million. When that war ended, we looked at our weapons and realized we had created something that could destroy all life on Earth. She paused, her eyes hard. We decided never to use those weapons again. We buried them. We tried to forget them, but we never destroyed the knowledge. We never forgot how to make them, because humans understand something that you do not. What? Zekthor asked quietly. Peace is only possible when your enemy knows the cost of war, Sarah said. You wanted to see our true strength? Look around you, 900 warships, each one designed by people who spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of killing, each one crewed by humans who will die before they surrender their home. Admiral Stone spoke again. Your ships are superior in a straight fight, Chancellor. That is true, but you are not in a straight fight. You are surrounded. Our weapons are aimed at your engines, your life support, your command centers. If this battle starts, half your fleet will be destroyed in the first 60 seconds. And the rest? Zekthor demanded. We'll spend the next hour dying slowly, Stone said flatly. We have run the simulations 1,000 times. You will lose, not because your ships are weaker, not because your warriors are less brave, but because we chose the battlefield. We set the trap, and you walked right into it. Thessa moved closer to Zekthor. Chancellor, we must retreat. This is not a battle we can win. If we retreat, we show weakness, Zekthor roared. If we fight, we show stupidity, Vorin said firmly. Chancellor, look at their formation. Look at their positions. Every single human ship is perfectly placed. This is not luck. This is planning. They knew exactly where we would position our fleet. They knew exactly how we would deploy. They have studied us for years, and we learned nothing about them. On the screen, Sarah spoke again. Chancellor, humanity does not want this war. We never did. But you forced us to show you what we are capable of. Now you know. Now you understand. We are not prey. We are not victims. We are survivors, and we are very, very good at surviving. She leaned forward, her voice dropping to almost a whisper. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Withdraw your fleet. Accept our terms. Treat us as equals. Or find out what happens when humanity stops pretending to be weak. Zekthor looked around his command ship, at his officers, at the council members, at the tactical displays showing his fleet surrounded by death. He thought about his people, about the Krathan civilization that had lasted 3,000 years, about everything they had built, and he thought about watching it all burn because of his pride. Slowly he raised one hand. All ships, he said quietly. Stand down. Power down weapons. Prepare to withdraw, Chancellor. One of his officers protested. Stand down! Zekthor roared. Then, more quietly, we have lost this battle before it began. I will not throw away lives for nothing. He looked at the screen, at Sarah Chen and Admiral Stone. You win, Ambassador, he said heavily. We will withdraw. We will negotiate. But know this, the galaxy will not forget this day. You have made enemies. Sarah shook her head. No, Chancellor. Today we made you understand us. Whether we are enemies or allies is still your choice. The communication ended. Zekthor stood silent as his fleet began to withdraw. Around him, the human ships maintained their positions, watching, waiting, making sure the Council kept their word. We underestimated them, Vorin said softly. Yes, Zekthor agreed. We saw humans as children playing with weapons they did not understand. We were fools. They understand war better than any species in the galaxy. They just chose not to show it until we forced them. Thessa clicked her mandibles nervously. What do we do now? Zekthor watched as Earth slowly disappeared from view. Now we learn to live in a galaxy where humans are equals. And we pray we never make them angry again. Behind them, the human fleet remained in perfect formation. Silent, watchful, deadly. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Part 5. The New Order. The council chamber looked different now. The purple crystal walls still glowed, but the light felt warmer somehow, less threatening. 3 months had passed since the standoff at Earth. 3 months that had changed everything. Ambassador Sarah Chen walked through the corridor toward the chamber. She was not alone this time. Behind her walked Admiral Marcus Stone and Dr. Kenji Yamamoto, Earth's leading scientist. They represented the 3 pillars of humanity: diplomacy, defense, and discovery. The chamber doors opened. Inside, the Galactic Council waited. But their faces were different now. The anger was gone. In its place was something else: curiosity, respect, and in some cases, even friendship. Ambassador Chen. High Chancellor Zekthor said. His voice was calm. Welcome. Please take your seat. Sarah noticed something immediately. Where before she had stood alone in the center of the chamber, now there was a chair, a proper council seat. The 13th seat. Thank you, Chancellor, she said, sitting down. Stone and Yamamoto stood behind her, representing Earth's strength and knowledge. Zekthor stood, his 6 arms spread in a gesture of openness. 3 months ago, this council made a grave mistake. We judged humanity without understanding them. We threatened when we should have listened. We demanded submission when we should have offered partnership. He paused, looking around at the other council members. Today we correct that mistake. Today, humanity takes its rightful place among the stars, not as subjects, not as children, but as equals. The other council members made sounds of agreement. Even those who had opposed humanity now nodded with acceptance. Vorin, the ancient crystal being, spoke next. Ambassador Chen, in my 50,000 years of life, I have seen many species join the galactic community. None have done it quite like humanity. You did not ask for permission. You did not beg for acceptance. You showed us who you were and demanded respect. It was refreshing. A few council members made sounds that might have been laughter. Sarah smiled slightly. Elder Vorin, humanity has learned many hard lessons in our history. One of the most important is this. Respect that is given freely is wonderful, but respect that is earned lasts forever. Well said. Thessa clicked her mandibles approvingly. And in these 3 months, you have shown us much more than military strength. You have shown us innovation, creativity, compassion. Council member Marith leaned forward. The medical technology you shared has already saved thousands of lives across 12 worlds. The agricultural techniques you taught us have increased food production by 40% on colony worlds. You could have kept these things secret. Why did you share them? Sarah looked at her steadily. Because that is what allies do. You asked why humanity wanted to keep our weapons. The answer is simple. We will never be helpless again. But that does not mean we want to use those weapons. We would much rather share knowledge, build friendships, create something better together. Admiral Stone stepped forward. If I may speak, Chancellor. Zekthor nodded. 3 months ago you saw humanity's military power, Stone said. What you did not see was our fear. We were terrified. Not of dying. Humans have never feared death much. We were afraid of becoming the very thing we fought against in our own history. Conquerors, tyrants, the bullies we spent centuries defeating. His voice grew softer. When your fleet withdrew, we did not celebrate. We did not cheer our victory. Instead, we held a moment of silence. For the battle that did not happen, for the lives that were not lost, for the peace we managed to preserve. The chamber was completely quiet now. That is humanity, Stone continued. We prepare for war so we never have to fight it. We build weapons so terrible that no one dares attack us. But we would give anything to never use them. That is not weakness. That is wisdom, bought with blood and tears over 10,000 years. Dr. Yamamoto spoke for the first time. Chancellor, may I show you something? Zekthor gestured permission. Yamamoto activated a hologram. It showed space, stars, planets, and between them, pathways of light connecting everything. This is a proposal, Yamamoto said. A joint project between humanity and the Galactic Council. We call it the Unity Network. Faster communication, better trade routes, shared research stations, emergency response systems that can help any world in need within hours instead of days. The hologram expanded, showing more details. Humanity has technology you need, Yamamoto continued. But you have knowledge we need. The Vilnari understand biology better than we ever could. The Aerons have mastered energy manipulation we are only beginning to understand. The Krathen have engineering skills we can only dream of. Imagine what we could build together. Zekthor studied the hologram carefully. This would require trust, complete trust. Yes, Sarah said simply, and trust is hard, especially after we nearly went to war. But Chancellor, every great civilization in our history was built on a simple idea. We are stronger together than apart. She stood up, looking around at all the council members. 3 months ago, I stood here and gave you a warning. Today, I stand here and give you a promise. Humanity will be the best ally you have ever known. We will stand with you against any threat. We will share our strength, our knowledge, our hope. All we ask is that you see us as partners on this journey through the stars. Thessa clicked her mandibles thoughtfully. And your weapons? Your hidden bases? Will you dismantle them now that peace is assured? Sarah shook her head firmly. No, those will remain, not as a threat to you, but as a promise to our children. No one will ever threaten Earth again. No one will ever make humanity kneel. That is not negotiable. But, Admiral Stone added, we propose a mutual defense agreement. If any Council world is threatened, humanity will help defend it. And if Earth is threatened, you will help defend us. We face the galaxy together, as equals, as allies. Zekthor was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, he extended all 6 of his arms outward, a Krathan gesture of complete trust. Ambassador Chen, Admiral Stone, Dr. Yamamoto, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I accept your proposal. Humanity is hereby recognized as the 13th member of this council, with all rights, all privileges, and all responsibilities that come with it. The chamber erupted with sounds of approval. Even those who had doubted made gestures of acceptance. Sarah felt something she had not allowed herself to feel in months: relief, hope, joy. Thank you, Chancellor, she said. Humanity will not disappoint you. Vorin's crystal body glowed with warm golden light. Ambassador, you said something 3 months ago that stayed with me. You said humanity refuses to give up no matter what. I believe that is true, but I also believe you refuse to give up on peace. That is what makes you special. Marith stood and approached Sarah. I have a question, Ambassador. A personal one. Ask, Sarah said. When you walked into this chamber 3 months ago, knowing we might kill you, what were you thinking? Sarah smiled, remembering that day. The fear, the determination, the absolute certainty that she could not fail. I was thinking about my daughter, she said quietly. She is 7 years old. She loves to read about the stars, about aliens, about the day humanity would join the galactic community. And I knew that if I failed, she might never get to see that day. So I could not fail. I refused to fail. For her. For every child on Earth who dreams of the stars. Marith made a sound like wind chimes singing. Then your daughter, and all the children of Earth, will have their dream. Because of you. The council session ended with plans for the future. Trade agreements, cultural exchanges, joint military exercises, research partnerships, everything needed to build a lasting peace. As Sarah left the chamber, Zekthor called out to her, Ambassador Chen, one more thing. She turned back. The Chancellor's expression was serious. I owe you an apology. I nearly started a war because of pride, because I saw you as a threat instead of a potential friend. That was foolish, dangerous. I am grateful you were wiser than I was. Sarah walked back to him. She looked up at the massive alien who had once threatened to destroy her world. Chancellor, she said gently, we all make mistakes. The measure of a person or a species is not whether they make mistakes. It is whether they learn from them. You learned. That is what matters. She extended her hand, a human gesture of friendship. Zekthor looked at it, then carefully wrapped one of his massive hands around hers. His scales were warm. To the future, he said. To the future, Sarah agreed. That night, Sarah stood in her quarters aboard the human embassy ship. She activated a video call. A child's face appeared on the screen, bright eyes, missing front tooth, messy hair. Mommy, her daughter squealed. Did you do it? Are we friends with the aliens now? Sarah smiled, tears in her eyes. Yes, baby, we are friends now. You can visit the stars. You can meet the aliens. You can see everything you have dreamed about. Because you are brave, her daughter said proudly. No, Sarah said softly. Because I am scared. But I love you more than I am scared. That is what bravery really is. Outside the window, Earth hung in space, blue and green and beautiful, safe, protected, and now no longer alone. Humanity had reached for the stars. And the stars had reached back. The journey was just beginning. There would be challenges ahead, misunderstandings, conflicts, growing pains, but there would also be friendship, discovery, wonder. They could be strong,